Good morning, folks. It's a beautiful, sunshiny morning. It's supposed to not be so hot today. Yesterday, I didn't get up to 110 here yesterday. It's supposed to be 90 today, I think, or something. So that's like a cool front for us. So I want to tell you, first, if you have any questions and you want to talk gardening, then I can get back to you, whatever your question is. And you can reach me at Norma@normasgarden.com. Always have to think about that. And as I said in this thing, sometimes if you watch what you're doing, Brian's behind the camera. He's the technology person, and he knows technology. I'm the gardening person, and I know gardening. But then he knows a little gardening, and I know a little technology, and so we make a good pair. We really balance off one another there. So anyway, if you will do that. Was there something else I forgot?
OklahomaGarden.tv.
Oh, yes. And then this is normasgarden.com at
videos
at OklahomaGarden.tv. See, that's different than .com, so I have to think about that every time. So we're going to do a little bit of garden knowledge here for you. If you will look here, Brian's going to get pictures of this, so he'll follow with me as I go. All of this behind us is containers. This is the Heliopsis. Summer Sun is its name. This is a clematis. Back there is a Weigela. And in this big pot behind me, completely behind me there, setting up on the curb, it has peonies in it. It has columbine in it. And then whatever annuals I want to plant, and then I have some marigolds behind me, and here's a good lesson for you. This marigold it's probably in a pot too small for that many seeds that I put in, and it needs more water, so it probably needs to be watered twice a day. For some of the other marigolds, and its name is the Bloom, so it's a double one. So the other marigolds that that are in a bigger pot maybe don't need water as much, so watch that, folks. This is Echinacea. This is Ruby Giant. And as I said, this is the clematis. Over there is Duchess. And this is Ramona. Ramona here.
Slow down.
Oh, I'm going too fast, Brian says, slow down. You can't keep up with the camera. This is Ramona. She's on our business card that Brian created and that I have learned how to print off. Okay, can you move down here now? Mm-hmm. This is a real somber rose. I need to deadhead him, and then he'll start blooming again. He does this several times during the summer. Right there growing on him, and this is a common practice of mine, is a vine. And it's a bean vine. It's pinto beans, just plain pinto beans if you're going to cook a pot of beans. And that provides nitrogen for the soil. Their roots provide nitrogen for the soil for that other plant, for that rose. That's what the Indians taught us. When we came to this new world, they taught us that. So, all right, then going on, there's a big pot there, and it's, as you can see, it has, this is a peony that's in there, back in there. But I just let it grow. It grows all summer, it's fine, it's happy. But the celosia come up every year, and this is called a plume celosia. It comes up, volunteer, and I noticed one, we've had a variegation there. There's one there, Brian, that's going to be one of the white ones. Can you see him there, in among those others?
Oh,
and he's going to be a white one. So then you come on, and you can see, as I said, the celosia comes up, and if I have too much, I'll pull it out, but usually there's not too much. And then when I have a little space, any place that I have a space, I put seeds. And there's marigold seeds there that I've planted. And that again is next to the next one there. Can you get to it to see that next one on the other side of that celosia? That's another peony that blooms in the spring, and then it just grows all summer. And gains strength, and it's watered, and fertilized, and taken care of. Now, I don't know, Brian, behind I don't know what that is for sure. I'm going to have to really check that out. I just noticed it this morning. There's a vine there, and it looks like a watermelon vine. Well, I've had watermelons come before that the birds bring me the seeds. So Now, are we about out of time? We got 5 minutes? Okay. Then can
Be right back.
oh, that's a good idea. Then I can have him move the camera, and folks, we'll be right back. So, folks, we're back. I don't know if I made it clear, but I want you to understand that everything that's against this fence is on the west patio, and it's all in containers. One of my sayings is, if you don't have a spot, put it in a pot. And so I live by that, and the pots have grown through the years. I have no idea how many containers there are now. There's some, for instance, Shelley just planted some beautiful cannas in a big pot, put it out by the potting shed. I mean, you know, any place that we can find, we put a pot. But let's talk about some of these, and I think Brian can follow. This is a rose, and a lot of people grow this, and it's called Seven Sisters. And the reason it's called Seven Sisters is on every blossom, when it blooms, when it first comes into bloom, there's 7 blossoms. There's always, well, let's put up my fingers, always 7 blossoms on it. And so it's called Seven Sisters, and it blooms all summer long. It's not a big showy blossom by any means, but it is consistent, and it blooms a little bit all the time. And this is the sort of thing that you would find growing out around a farmhouse where everybody's moved away and left it. And that rose will still be blooming. This is a new one in the garden. Let me show you something with this one I'm doing. This is a carpet rose. But I don't want to put it in the soil and make a carpet. I don't want that. I just want it to show me what it can do in a container. And this is Mama's back here. And I may have to trim them back. I think it's shading the rose just a little bit. So it's probably time to do that. And it won't hurt the mums any, because they'll go ahead and bloom in the fall anyway, even when you cut them back. Okay, back here is a beautiful clematis. You can see there's a rose here. They're both in containers. And then back in there, there's a rose, and it's Zephyrin Druhin, which is a thornless rose. There's no thorns on those roses you see there, and it will grow in shade. So I do keep it trimmed back, because she leans over and she wants to grow on something like a vine would, and then you can't get into the garden. Okay, Brian, let's move on down, and there's another clematis there, and she's not in bloom right now, and her name is Duchess of Edinburgh, and she's white, a double white. She's beautiful. So then let's go down before I forget, Brian. Right there where the blocks are, now that's fertilizer, and that's the slow release, like Osmocote or something. I don't use heavy chemicals, and I never use anything like the stakes that you put in, because they're too concentrated, and they'll burn something up. You can sprinkle a little of this on, and it grows dissolves slowly. And so that's the phlox that it's on. And recently, it was in a black pot that Renee had potted for me, and Shelley decided that it needed a little better home, but it was too hot to transplant. Too hot to transplant now. So she just took the big black pot and dropped it into another pot, and then put soil in it like that. And she loves it. That little phlox just loves it. Next to it is a little pot of zinnias. Next to that is a pot of copper plant. And then there's zinnias here. There's some marigolds here. Am I going too fast, Brian? Okay, we're going too fast. He can't move that fast. He said he'd give you whiplash if he does. Then, oh, I don't know if I told you, this is where I told you, I cut those roses that I showed you this morning. This is Rio Samba. 1 minute. Pan down, back down to where the celosia was, because that's where we were. There's one more rose there that I need to trim back to get him to bloom again. Can you see him where the birdhouse is, Brian? And he's right there in front of it. His name is Christopher Columbus. He's the wildest, beautiful orange fellow you ever saw. He's marvelous. So as I said, if you have time, just show them what you can do in containers. And I do thank you, folks, and be sure if you have any questions to call me at, email me at Norma's Garden, Norma@normasgarden.com. Be glad to help you with any of your questions. Is that enough, Brian? That's enough. Goodbye, folks. Thanks for coming.